How to Find Wisdom Part 1. The silent calling. Imagine, for a moment, that you are sitting in a quiet place. It could be a garden, a forest, or a cozy corner in your home, where sunlight filters through the window and the noise of the world feels far away. Now close your eyes, breathe, and ask yourself, when was the last time you truly heard your own inner voice? Most of us drift through our days like a river, rushing forward, carried by the current of obligations, thoughts, memories, pains, and expectations. We wake up, work, fulfill what others expect of us, yet often go years without realizing that something inside us is whispering. And that whisper is a call toward wisdom. True wisdom cannot be memorized from books, though books may point us in the right direction. It doesn't come as ready-made answers, but as questions that open hidden doors within. It's not about knowing more than others. It's about knowing more about yourself. Carl Jung said, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." And awakening is the first step. But to awaken, you must pause. Pausing is not something the modern mind likes to do, because when you pause, you're left alone with yourself, and you never know what you'll find. Old fears, regrets, unspoken truths, dreams left behind. It clings to distraction, endless scrolling, endless complaining, constant noise. And yet, finding wisdom is an act of courage. The courage to sit with yourself, without masks, without defense, without excuses. The courage to feel the pain, the shame, the untold longing, the yearning for change. Wisdom begins with acceptance. I am this too. I am my wounds, my contradictions, my downfalls. I am also the silent space that watches it all pass. Wisdom is born when you realize you are not your thoughts. You are the space where thoughts come and go. You are not your emotions. You are the field where they stir, blossom, and fade. The mind complains, but the body wants more of the same. You are not your mistakes. You are the possibility of beginning again, moment by moment. Joe Dispenza reminds us that repeating the same thoughts and emotions trains our body to crave that same chemistry. We become addicted to fear, anger, resentment. Breaking that loop is where your wisdom begins to breathe again. So today, just pause. Sit wherever you are. Take a deep breath. Feel your body just as it is. Watch your thoughts, like clouds drifting by. And notice that, behind every cloud, there is always the sky. You are that sky. In that instant, you might feel a small sense of relief, like something softening in your chest. It comes like a gentle breeze. You can rest within yourself. This is your vibrational field shifting, your energy responding to stillness. In that moment, a seed of wisdom is being watered. Wisdom doesn't come as a thunder. It's the quiet voice that says, "You don't have to keep fighting everything, but trust what? Life, destiny, God, the universe. Trust yourself. Trust the silent center within you. Trust the field that connects you to all that exists." Rossandro Klinjey often says that wisdom is the balance between what you feel, what you think, and what you do. Many of us think too much, feel too little, or feel deeply, but without clarity, and act without true awareness. It's like trying to dance to the wrong music. When you begin to hear your inner voice, everything aligns. Your thoughts become calmer, your heart less heavy, your actions more authentic. And here lies an essential question. What keeps me from hearing my wisdom? Maybe it's old voices, criticism, the weight of others' expectations. Maybe it's fear of disappointment. Maybe it's the belief that you're not capable, not worthy, not enough. But look at you now. Feel your heartbeat. It doesn't ask your permission to keep beating. It beats because life wants to live through you. Return to that room. And so does your wisdom. It lives in you, no matter how long you've ignored it. Today, carry this image with you. Inside you is a silent room, a sacred library where every book you've read, every teacher you've listened to, every experience you've lived, rests together. But above all, there is a flame that never goes out. That flame is your wellspring of wisdom. When all seems dark, when the answers outside make no sense, sit on its floor, close your eyes and ask, what does my wisdom want to tell me today? Don't expect an immediate answer. It might come in a dream, a coincidence, an encounter. It will come when you create the space. Wisdom never shouts, it whispers. If these words speak to you so far, pause for a moment and share in the comments. What is the one question your inner wisdom is asking you right now? Your insight might help someone else hear their own whisper. And if you feel called to, like this video and subscribe to our channel here, you'll always find a safe space for your spirit to rest. So we end this first step. knowing that wisdom already lives inside you. And that, to hear it, you only need stillness. Now that you've heard the silent calling of your inner wisdom, maybe you feel a subtle trembling in your chest. Because when we get closer to this voice within, it doesn't only bring comfort, it also reveals everything we once tried to hide. This is why so many people avoid truly listening to themselves. It's easier to seek ready-made answers, to follow teachers who promise shortcuts, to get lost in beautiful concepts that never ask for real practice. But living, breathing wisdom is born in a soil that is often covered by shadows. Carl Jung, one of the great explorers of the human psyche, dedicated his life to studying these hidden, denied, repressed parts of us. He called this inner territory the shadow. The shadow is everything you don't want to see about yourself. Everything you judge, reject, or pretend not to feel. So, when you walk toward wisdom, the path is not made of light alone. There are inner caves to explore. But this is not about punishing or blaming yourself. It is about bringing what was hidden into the light, so it can be held and transformed. Close your eyes for a moment, and imagine. Within you, there is a locked room. It has been dark for years, maybe decades. Into this room, you pushed childhood wounds, suppressed anger, jealousy, shame, your deepest fears. You locked that door because you believed that by doing so, you would become a better person. More acceptable, more lovable, stronger. But wisdom whispers. Nothing that is human in you needs to be locked away. True strength is born when you open that door. When you say, I will sit with you, fear. I will listen to you, anger. I will hold you, shame. In this dive into your shadows, you may find painful memories, old grudges you didn't want to feel, words you wanted to speak but swallowed, choices you made out of fear of being abandoned. Your shadow is a mirror of the parts of you that stayed frozen in time. Yet wisdom, watching from a place of deep compassion, never condemns you. Holding on to resentment, hatred, or shame is not only psychological, it is biological. It only asks, are you ready to look? Are you ready to hold what still hurts? Bruce Lipton reminds us, through epigenetics, that even our cells carry the imprint of emotional memories. Every unprocessed emotion lodges itself somewhere. In the stomach, in the heart, in the tightness of your throat. This is why wisdom acts as medicine. It begins healing from the inside out. Rossandro Klinjey often says, what you do not resolve, you repeat. That toxic relationship that reappears in another form, the draining job you find again and again, the self-sabotage that keeps your life stuck. The shadow, when ignored, becomes your destiny. But when faced directly, it becomes your greatest teacher. So today, I invite you to do something simple, yet deeply courageous. Allow yourself to feel. You might cry. You might feel anger. You might notice an old sadness that still pulses within you. Don't try to fix anything right now. Just hold it, as you would hold a frightened child in your arms. I am generous and selfish. I am compassionate. And I have hurt others too. I am loving, and I have shut down my heart before. Wisdom doesn't want you to become perfect. It only wants you to become whole. And to be whole is to say, yes, I have light and shadow. When you acknowledge this, something softens. Guilt dissolves, shame melts, fear shrinks, and a new clarity arises. The realization that you are not here to be flawless, but to be fully human. A human being always becoming. Joe Dispenza teaches that by changing our thoughts, we change the chemistry of our body. But to change thoughts, we must see what fuels them. Many sabotaging thoughts are voices of your shadow. You're not good enough. You'll fail again. No one will love you if you show who you really are. When these voices arise, don't fight them with harshness. Breathe. Look at them the way an adult looks at a wounded child. With kindness, ask, where did you come from? Who taught you this? Is this still true? In this silent inner dialogue, a miracle happens. Your inner wisdom transforms your monsters into parts of you that simply wanted to be seen. And when they are seen, they no longer rule your life in the dark. Jung said, the gold is in the shadow. Perhaps behind your anger is a creative power that has been suffocated. Behind your sadness is a longing for deep connection. Behind your shame is a gift that was once ridiculed and now waits to bloom. Wisdom does not live only in the light that shines. It is born in the courage to walk through your own darkness holding a lantern. Every shadow you embrace makes you more whole. And by being whole, you become wiser. So, later today, if you can, sit in silence, close your eyes. Ask yourself, which part of me still waits to be seen? Maybe a memory will come, a feeling in your chest, a knot in your throat. Don't run. Breathe with it, and how it can guide you, day by day, through life's uncertainties. You are held by something greater, a force that has always been with you. It doesn't demand your perfection. It only asks you to remember. Every pain can be transformed into wisdom, if you have the courage to feel it. In our next step, we will talk about how this wisdom reveals itself in the quiet of the heart. For now, be gentle with your shadow. It is the doorway through which your light will pass. We now arrive at a subtle turning point on this path, the place where the mind grows tired of trying to understand everything alone, and the heart whispers what the head cannot translate into words. Here, wisdom is no longer something you seek, but something you feel and live, even amid life's uncertainties. After hearing the silent calling and walking through your shadows, you may have realized that, in the end, there are no ready-made answers. There is no perfect guidebook for how to love without pain, never make mistakes, or always choose the right path. And yet, deep within you, something knows the next step. That something is the silence of the heart. It is curious how, in our culture, the heart is often treated as the place of weakness, of confusion, indecision, fragility. How many times have you been told, use your head, or don't be so emotional? But in ancient spiritual traditions, and even in recent discoveries in neuroscience, we know the heart is much more than a muscle that pumps blood. It is a center of subtle intelligence, an electromagnetic field so powerful, it influences the entire body, mind, and soul. The HeartMath Institute, for example, has shown that the heart has its own brain, a network of neurons that perceives, remembers, and feels. When we consciously connect with it, it's like reconnecting a direct line to a source of inner coherence. But how can you hear the silence of the heart? First, you must remember. The heart does not speak in the language of justifications or endless lists of pros and cons. It speaks through sensations, intuitions, chills, tightness, or expansion. It speaks when you stop talking. It whispers when you rest from the need to be right. Perhaps you have felt this before, a soft peace that appears in the middle of chaos. An insight that comes only when you surrender, a quiet certainty that says, this is the way. Even when your logic insists, it makes no sense. This is the wisdom that lives in your chest. But to reach it, you often need to move through the noise. The relentless thoughts, the old worries, the fear-based beliefs. That's why simple practices can open the door. The first one is conscious breathing. When you breathe slowly and deeply, you signal to your body that it is safe to relax. Little by little, your heart sends signals of coherence to your brain, and you create an inner space where wisdom can flow. Try it now. Place a hand over your chest. Close your eyes. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for 2, and exhale for a count of 6. Repeat for a few minutes. You may feel warmth, tingling, or even an emotion you didn't expect. Don't run from it. This is your heart clearing away the noise so it can speak. Another key is compassionate listening. Many people talk about following the heart, but forget to listen first. Listening to your heart means asking, what truly nourishes me? What makes my chest expand? What am I trying to silence in here? Sometimes the answer comes in tears. Sometimes in a soft sense of relief. Sometimes it comes as a no you needed to say years ago, or a yes that was stuck in your throat. There's an old Sufi tale that says, a man once asked a wise teacher, how do I know if it's my heart or my ego speaking? The teacher replied, the ego shouts, the heart whispers. The wisdom that rises from the silence of the heart does not impose itself. It does not create drama. It shows up as an invitation. Trust me. Take this one step. You don't have to see the whole road right now. Often, though, we crave absolute certainty. We want to know exactly where things will lead, who will be there, how long it will last. But life, just like the heart, moves with the rhythm of mystery. That's why so many disconnect from this source of guidance, because it demands surrender, humility, presence. Rossandro Klinjey says the heart is a compass pointing us toward what makes us feel alive, not necessarily what is easiest or most comfortable. Often, it will guide you to places that require letting go, changing course, ending old cycles. That is because wisdom does not want you trapped in lifeless places. It wants you to bloom, even when blooming hurts. So, ask yourself now, what is my heart trying to show me, but I refuse to see? Maybe it's a relationship that no longer nourishes you, a project that keeps calling, but you delay because you're afraid to fail, a reconciliation your pride still resists. And also the ones inside, the ones that say it won't work, it's not the right time, you can't do it. To live from the wisdom of the heart, you need courage to silence the voices outside. Each time you silence those voices, space opens for what is true. And what is true, it's what makes you feel more whole. What makes your chest breathe wider, even if it scares you. What does not make you shrink to fit into anyone else's life? In the silence of the heart, all that is unnecessary falls away. And body align, creating an electromagnetic field that attracts experiences in harmony with who you truly are. You begin to discern what is noise and what is essence. Bit by bit, you live less on autopilot and more in tune with what your soul wants to express. Joe Dispenza talks about entering heart coherence, a state where your thoughts, emotions, this state cannot be forced. It must be allowed. It happens when you make listening to your heart a daily practice, a silent prayer, a moment of gratitude, an honest choice. You don't have to rush. You can't force a seed to bloom overnight. Your wisdom is not something to conquer. It is something to reveal. And when you listen, remember, life won't become perfect, but it will become more true. The road will still have its curves, its climbs, its descent, but inside, you will carry a quiet center that does not shake. In our final part, we talk about how to live this wisdom. Day by day, in the real world, where there is still noise, fear, and distraction, but also the chance to become a quiet beacon for those around you. For now, breathe, close your eyes, and ask softly, heart, what is my next gentle step? Trust it. The rest, life will reveal at the right time. Part 4. Living life as wisdom. You have come this far. You heard the silent calling, walked through your shadows, and felt the whisper of your heart. And now, perhaps you ask, how do I live this wisdom? In the middle of the world's noise, the demands of ordinary life, the distractions that try to pull me away from myself. This is one of wisdom's greatest truths. It is not a final destination you reach, where you stay forever, immune to life's ups and downs. It is, above all, a way of walking, conscious that each step, each word, each choice is a vibrational seed you plant in the invisible field of life. Joe Dispenza reminds us, your reality is a reflection of your inner state. This doesn't mean you'll never face challenges again. It means that, even in the challenges, you can choose to respond from a place that is more whole, more calm, more true. Wisdom does not reveal itself only when you are alone, meditating in silence. It shows up in the grocery store line when someone treats you harshly. In traffic, when your patience is tested. At home, when a family member touches an old wound. It is in these moments that you test what you've awakened within yourself. Can I breathe before reacting? Can I choose love without being permissive? Can I see that the other person, too, carries shadows? Sergio Cortella speaks beautifully about the ethics of coherence, living what you believe, even when no one is watching. Wisdom grows stronger when you act in alignment with what you know is right. Even when it would be easier to fall back into old patterns, small daily gestures are the fertile ground where wisdom blooms. When you pause to breathe before responding to provocation, when you own your mistakes without punishing yourself, yet take responsibility. When you truly listen to another person, not to fix them, but to be present. When you stop for a moment, just to feel grateful for the simple fact of being alive. In this way, step by step, your vibrational frequency rises, not out of obligation but naturally, because what you practice with your heart gradually becomes your new way of being. There will be days when you feel you've lost touch with that center. This is part of the human journey. One day, everything feels clear. The next, the mind is noisy again. Old pains reappear. When that happens, do not blame yourself. Just come home to yourself again. Sit in silence. Breathe. Ask your heart, what is my next gentle step? And if no answer comes, it's okay. Wisdom is also made of patience, of trusting the unseen. Bruce Lipton reminds us that our bodies regenerate constantly. New cells, new patterns can emerge when we create a new internal environment. It is the same with the mind, the heart, the vibrational field. When you treat yourself with gentleness, you create the soil for new states of consciousness to grow. So do not believe that wisdom is far away, reserved for a few enlightened beings. It is here, right now, breathing with you. It is that quiet voice that knows when it has time to speak and when it has time to stay silent. When it's time to let go and when it's time to hold on. When it has time to release what weighs you down and when it has time to stand firm for what truly matters. To live wisdom is to learn to say no when needed. Without guilt, it is seeing where you're wasting your energy. It is forgiving yourself for not knowing before and being willing to know now. Imagine, just for a moment, what the world could look like if each of us walked with more awareness of our own vibrational field. our words, our presence. A world where each simple gesture, a glance, a hug, a kind word, was an extension of our inner wisdom. In this way, you become a quiet beacon. Not because you are perfect, but because you choose to radiate what you cultivate in silence. Your field influences other fields. Your quiet peace reaches where words cannot. So as you close this journey, hold this reminder in your heart. Wisdom does not live in some distant place. It lives in how you choose to live each present moment. It blossoms in the mind that questions, the heart that listens, the body that feels, the soul that trusts. And if one day you feel you've lost the thread, remember, you can return. Always. Pause, breathe, listen. What is true never leaves you. It only hides when the noise is too loud. So today, make this promise to yourself. Honor your own wisdom. Nurture silence when you need to hear. Be brave enough to face your shadows. Listen to your heart when your mind doesn't know the way. Above all, live what you know. It is in practice, in the ordinary moments, that wisdom becomes living light in the world. If this journey touched you in any way, share with us in the comments. What is one small way you can live your wisdom today? Your words may inspire someone else to trust their own. And if you know someone who might need this reminder, share this video with them. Let this circle of inner light grow stronger. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and ring the bell, so you never miss these safe moments of reflection and healing for your spirit. Take a deep breath, close your eyes for a few seconds, and trust. Your wisdom knows the way, and when it whispers, may you have the courage to listen. Until our next meeting, you are never alone.